Our headline today comes to us from Investment News. This is written by Bruce Kelly. Broker dealers face risks aplenty, regulators warn. Firms should be watching out for employees chatting on WhatsApp, as well as brokers in need of heightened supervision and complex products being sold to retail customers. Oh, gee, this is an interesting piece because I think people don't realize why a lot of advisors don't go on social media a ton. And a lot of the financial stuff that you read is from unregulated people, and you end up with these wacko things like we talked about on Monday, right? This dude saying, hey, don't invest in the stock market. Go put all your money in IPOs. Like, let's just do the venture capital route and cut to the chase, where we either make a ton of money or we lose it all right away. But regulators, regardless of what the piece says, regulators really watch what advisors say online.
Well, and to be clear, what we're talking about are brokers and not financial advisors, not registered investment advisory firms, fiduciary advisors. They're not regulated by FINRA. What you said earlier was, financial advisors aren't on social media. Therefore, the ones who are must be unregulated. And they're just not the brokers, the guys from Merrill, Ameriprise, Edward Jones, whatever, because they're kind of under a different set of rules, a different self-regulatory agency called FINRA. And the idea of compliance in the broker-dealer world has always been the lowest common denominator. It's always been, well, one person one time may have said something on the internet that was not exactly right. So instead of creating a system for communication that everyone uses, Twitter and Facebook and whatever, that's acceptable, we're just going to say you can't do it, period. It's like the headline here was, you have to watch out for people potentially saying stuff on WhatsApp. I don't know what WhatsApp is. I mean, I know it, but I don't have it. But isn't the whole idea of it is that it's kind of sort of private? Is that not what WhatsApp is about? Like, how would somebody know unless you screenshotted it and tagged it to I don't know. It's such BS that this is the enforcement action. Dang it, you better not say dumb stuff on social media. It's like, what about the people that steal people's money? Oh, yeah, those guys shouldn't do that either. But don't go on social media because we will come at you. It's like, okay, maybe we should probably focus on the thing that really matters, like, saving people money and not. Well,
yeah, and I think that's my point, is that this vacuum of people, largely, I think, that are responsible
right.
people. There's certainly some
Sure.
bad actors in that community, but it gets filled. A lot of that void gets filled. You see it on Twitter. I see it on Twitter. It gets filled with trash, just absolute trash advice, because of the fact that a lot of the responsible people decide to say nothing.
Well, it's not that they decide; it's decided for them.
It's decided for them. To say nothing.
A little behind the curtains here. The whole other guy thing was because of this. Like, it was because there was a time when podcasting and social media and the website and that sort of thing was just not allowable. I remember bringing it up to the compliance department at the firm that I cleared through at the time as an idea. I said, "What do you think? The podcast might be kind of a cool thing." And what do you think? And they said, "Yeah, sure. We just need everything scripted." We need to pre-approve it before you launch it, and it takes us about 6 weeks. And I said, well, it's contemporaneous, and we do 3 of them a week. At least that's the plan.
And we're talking. We want to talk about headlines happening right now.
And they said, well, that won't work. I said, well, is there another option? It's like, what can we do to speed up the process? What can we do to no, sorry, it won't work. So you're right. That's an interesting take. I hadn't thought about that, but the problem with that is that it actually hurts investor relationship or investor outcomes, because the real pros can't have a comment. You got freaking Jim Cramer on there yelling and screaming about buy this and sell this, and not professional advice.
I was one, just to give people an idea of this, I was one of 12 people in the country who were cleared through a big firm, Ameriprise,
12.
cleared to speak One
Out of 12,000
who were
reps.
who were cleared to speak and then go through compliance later. And I had to go through crap loads of media training and whatever. I was one of 12 in the entire company.
And after that, they didn't let anybody do it once they heard how you laid waste to the whole thing.
Did you see what Joe did?
Okay, we're not
And
making
now there's
that
11
mistake again. Now there's 11.
Today they're down to 4, right?
Well, I mean, and I get it. Like if you're a big organization, if you're an Ameriprise, use that as an example, it's very difficult to have a process that allows for 12,000 people to speak their mind. Because you don't know what anybody's going to say. But I also think that by and large, like you said, the vast majority of people are, doing what's right. So why would you not? I'm certain there's technology, and if there's not technology, why would you not provide the training that you got, maybe at a different scale, but provide the training that you got? Here's, don't use the word guarantee when you're talking about, investment products. I mean, like it's not national secrets here. I mean, it's just.
No, but these companies are doing this lockdown, according to this piece, because they're running scared. They look at a $125 million settlement the SEC reached last December with JP Morgan, and a $700,000 settlement that a firm called SagePoint Financial reached with the SEC because they were facing claims, OG, that it had, quote, failed since 2013 to have an up and running system that adequately supervised brokers with histories of misconduct. A company like, I don't know anything about Sage Financial.
Well, that's a different thing.
But still, if I'm Sage Financial, I'm like, hey, we're just not going there. Like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do nothing because of the fact that apparently we don't know how to police this correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the whole like brokers who have had missteps in the past, like heightened supervision is the term that's used. These are folks that maybe did something that's not so great. An unsuitable product sale,
I'm reading down here further. This Sage Financial thing was a little worse than I might have thought.
Yeah, I might be kind of putting a little bit of niceness on it, but there's definitely places where brokers go who get expelled from firms. You get fired from Merrill because you're a slime bag, and then they end up at other places. This may be one of those. It may not be, but generally speaking, those types of individuals require higher supervision from compliance because of their past behavior.
And I guess to bring the point home here, where do people largely, study after study shows, where do they go to get their news? They no longer go to the newspaper. They no longer go to credible sources. They look at things like Facebook. And this is a local news website from Miami-Dade County. This is News 10. Scammer pretended to be a military serviceman to swindle 74-year-old victim, police say. And it's because Linda Burness, who was the victim here, was using Facebook when she thought she connected with a handsome military serviceman known as Mr. Bravo. By the way, if you're connecting with somebody who's calling themselves Mr. Bravo.
More like Bravo Foxtrot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
There's some people out there that
Detective
get that joke.
said the Facebook user was a scammer who'd later manipulate her into handing over $60,000. I think you got to curate your feed. Maybe make sure that if a guy presents himself as Mr. Bravo, hey, I'm Mr. Bravo.
I'm not allowed to go after guys on
got 60
Facebook.
grand. This is just one instance. I mean, you can flip through over and over and over, OG, how people haven't curated their feed of who they trust, who they don't trust. And I think there's some work that you got to do there. But I think.
Well, we need more voices spreading the good news, not less. And I would pray that the fine folks at FINRA, it's an alliteration, bonus points for OG. I would hope that they would kind of take a different tact and say, well, let's figure out a way to help investor education as opposed to hindering it.